Well, good evening everyone. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to this informative, interactive and important session on India, China, Pakistan security issues today with an acclaimed authority on national security, General V.P. Malik. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big hand to General Malik. As we know, India has had many wars with its western neighbor, but much more serious than the wars have been the frequent skirmishes as well as the covert operations of our neighbor's so-called state or non-state actors. And a northern neighbor, having annexed a lot of our territory in the past, does not desist from laying further claims and causing a lot of disturbance through various incursions. General V.P. Malik is the one who steered the Indian ship through the turbulent times of the Kargil war. Before I'll call upon Mr. Sanjay Gupta to say a few words about General Malik, I would request Captain Sial to please come and present a bouquet to General Malik. May I also request Mrs. Sodi to please come and present a bouquet to Mrs. Malik. Thank you. Mr. Sanjay Gupta, please.
A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's my proud privilege to introduce to you such an eminent personality like General V.P. Malik. General V.P. Malik, commissioned as second lieutenant in the Indian Army in June 1959, rose to be its chief from October 1997 to September 2000. Concurrently, he was also the chairman, Chiefs of Staff Committee of India from January 1999 to September 2000. As Army Chief, he had dual responsibility of being an advisor to the government as well as commander of the over 1.2 million strong army. The latter responsibility included management of strategic, operational and fiscal planning and human resource development. He planned, coordinated and oversaw execution of Operation Vijay to successfully defeat Pakistan's attempted intrusion in Kargil sector in 1999. General Malik was awarded AVSM in 1986 and PVSM in 1996. The General was given Distinguished Fellowship of Institute of Directors, New Delhi in 1999. Excellence in Leadership Award by Atul Foundation, Pune, and Pride of the Nation Award by the Doon Citizens Council in June 2000. After retirement, he was member of National Security Advisory Board for 2 terms. He raised Institute of Security Studies in the Observer Research Foundation and was honorary advisor to the Center for Policy Research in New Delhi. In 2007, he was nominated as the judge panel to select the ranked top companies for leaders in Asia Pacific region by Hewitt Associates, who undertook this exercise in collaboration with Fortune magazine and the RBL Group. Currently, he is an independent director and advisor on the board of some well-known private sector companies. General Malik writes frequently for newspapers, magazines, and professional journals and conveys his views on security issues on TV channels. He has authored Kargil From Surprise to Victory and edited several books and papers on defense planning and other security issues. His second book on conflicts and diplomacy is expected to be released in October 2013. He addresses civil and military institutions, think tanks, and corporate organizations on strategy, security, human resource, and leadership issues. May I now request General Malik to kindly deliver his address, please. Thank you. A minute for the President to welcome everybody, please.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are all absolutely privileged to have among us the veteran of many a battle and the victorious commander of the Indian forces in Operation Vijay, popularly known as Kargil War. The chief guest, General VP Malik, sir, the entire membership joins me to welcome you once again. The business community at large cannot remain unaffected from the security situation of the country, particularly in regions like Punjab and Jammu and Kashmir. In fact, the national security or even the perception of national security has a profound bearing on business outlook and growth. Every day when we pick up our newspaper, there are tidbits about happenings on or around our international borders, both with Pakistan and China. Sir, LMA is highly obliged that General Malik consented to spare time to give us informed inputs on the security situation vis-a-vis China and Pakistan. Let's all lend our ears to the pearls of wisdom from General Malik. I'm sure he will have time later to answer some of our queries and concerns. Thank you all, and thank you, General Malik, for giving us your time today. Thank you.
May I request all members out here to put their phones on silent or switch them off, please?
Mr. Singla, Mr. Sachit Jain, Mr. Sanjay Gupta, Mr. Kamal Vadera, ladies and gentlemen, let me say it's a privilege to be here, to be speaking to the Dhyana Management Association, and this is my second time that I have come here. I enjoyed my first visit when I came and you were the president. And as I see the audience and the kind of remarks that have been made both by the President and General Secretary, I think I'm going to enjoy this. I don't know about you, but I'm going to enjoy the interaction with you all. Let me also say that I'm glad that you chose this subject. I've given a choice of two to Sachin, and he came back to me after a few days and he said, no, most people want to hear you on India, Pakistan and China relationship, security relationship. Why I'm saying that I'm glad you chose, because for a number of days now, for many months I would say, few years now, post-retirement, there has been a lot of feeling about this whole issue in my mind. And I have been opening up slowly. Today I'm going to open up fully. Because I do feel that there are many things which are wrong, which are going wrong. And there is no doubt, it's not just the business community. But lately what I find wherever I go, a certain amount of cynicism has come, which is not a good thing, obviously. Certain amount of, the feeling that what has gone wrong with us. I can assure you, it is not going to be permanent. It cannot be permanent. We do have the inner strength in us as a country. But there are certain areas which need to be chabi-karod. And greater awareness, as you and many others like you, they become more and more aware of the real issues behind all these things. I have no doubt, whichever government comes into power, 2014, it doesn't matter which political group comes into power, but I think they have to realize that national security is such an important issue that it requires not fighting with each other, but fighting together to defeat our enemies. this thing. I've just got 2 slides, or 3 slides. First, of course, is quite obvious, which is just giving you the relationship in terms of size, population, the GDP, because these are important factors which go into as elements of power of a nation, you know. And I thought I'll just prepare this slide. And can you move the next one? Okay. Yeah. Our country has got long borders. Those are given here. Just look at the number of, unfortunately, the first and the second, India, China and Indo-Pakistan, has got a lot of problems on the borders. There are disputed borders. China, the whole of the border, and Pakistan also almost about 900 when you include LOC and the AGPL, actual ground position line in Siachen sector. Those are, we are having problem. Indo-Myanmar, not much of a problem. Indo-Bhutan, also not much of a problem. Indo-Nepal, also not much of a problem. But when it comes to Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, and where they join, there are these tri-junction, India, China, and these countries, there are problems. There are problems in those sectors. Bangladesh is more or less settled. There are very small problems, and coastline is huge. You know, ever since Bombay was targeted 2611, so people have realized the importance of the coastline also. You know, I think all of us need to understand what is national power. When we talk of countries like India, China, USA, Pakistan, all these have, you know, they are able to influence each other because of national power. And power comprises many of these factors. The prominent ones I have shown you: geography, natural resources, skilled population, economic development, obviously technology comes part of that. National character is important. And military capability and diplomacy, of course, is important. But the most important factor, ladies and gentlemen, is the political leadership and the strategic culture that we have. If the political leadership does not know how to make use of all those elements of power, you can be nothing. The country can go to dog still. So I think we have to realize, like we say, the man behind the gun is always more important than the gun. So similarly, political leadership has to be good to be able to exploit all the other elements of national power. So I just wanted to make this point right in the beginning before we proceed further on my talk. I'm going to speak about China and Pakistan. Now I'm not going to go into too many details because I look forward to the question answers. But what I want to say is that with Pakistan we've had this line of control which is a constant source of trouble since 1972, after the 1971 war. And this is marked on the map, and this is signed by the top military leaders of India and Pakistan. In 1990, during Kargil war, when Pakistanis